Hello there. Well, I didn't really want this first video to be about something as boring as the European Parliament, but we have to talk about this chat control bill that they're going to vote on in 10 days. Because in 10 days from when I'm recording this video, on the 14th of September, the European Parliament is going to be voting on this bill that you can see here on the screen. And it is a bill to combat child exploitation. So it seems, on its face, it seems like a noble purpose, but in practice, it's gonna be the end of all privacy, and that's what I want to talk about. The bill has the purpose that all communication providers that want to operate within the EU, they have to scan or at least in some way prevent you from sharing or material about child exploitation. And the way that they are probably going to do that is with AI tools that can quickly sniff out if you have anything illegal in your texts. And it's going to affect everything you send, from calls to messages, of course, and then pictures, files that you want to send is also going to be scanned. All the calls you're going to make is going to be scanned just to see if there is anything child exploitative in this. And if they find that there is, they have a duty to report it to the local authorities so they can deal with it. The problem with that is that they're gonna use that to gain access to all of your communication, and they want to normalize just listening in on your private communication. And another problem with that is that, of course, it says here that it is to protect the children, but really we know that that's just right now. Next week, they're going to probably use it to also protect your children by catching drug dealers before that they can sell substances. So they're going to listen into these conversations, and if you talk about procuring some illegal substances, then they can catch that before that the deal will take place and bust the dealer. I mean, that's still something we could probably find some agreement on and people want done. But then if something else becomes politically expedient, they're gonna probably use this to also check that you're not doing that. I mean, imagine that you're having a conversation with your best friend about that you're skeptical about all this immigration that's taking place all over EU. Then that might be something that they want to sniff out and report to local authorities before you can even send it. And maybe you're not skeptical about that, and you just want the the uncontrolled mass immigration. Then when the right side wins the power, then they're going to use it to sniff out if you're in favor of illegal. I mean, you see where this is going. So no matter what side of the political aisle you're on, you don't want this bill to pass unless you want all the communications being spied on and reported by the European Union. So that's why you want to oppose this bill. And one funny thing about this bill, two funny things actually, but one thing is it's not going to affect the politicians. I mean, if it's a noble purpose to stop child exploitation, then why wouldn't the politicians' messages also be subject to that? I mean, they might catch a few criminals there, if you know what I'm saying. We have seen history of politicians also being engaged in this dirty stuff. So why can't they also scan them? But no, it's because it's not about protecting children. It's about listening in on all your private communication. Of course, the politicians, they don't want their communication to be listened in on. Another funny thing is that even though that this says it's the EU, I mean, it's gonna spread to the rest of the world within very short time, because if any company is big enough that it also wants to have European customers to be allowed to operate within the EU, they would have to comply with this law. So, I mean, if you have like, I don't know, some big international app, like for example Facebook, yeah, they also operate in the EU. So Facebook would also have to abide by this rule if they want to keep their business in EU. And imagine that you are a developer from India and you invent the next big communication app, then you can keep that in India until you want to comply with this rule. So it's going to hit the entire world. So what can we do about this? Luckily, we have some crafty people that has made a site called Fight Chat Control, and in here on this site, you can see that there is take action, and I hope that that's where you will join me and help me write these politicians that we really don't want this law to pass. And to make that super easy, they have made this site where you can read about all the implications of this law, and then if you want to take action, you can click next, and you can see they have a prefabricated message that you can send to all the members of parliament, or just send them to the members of parliament in your country, or just to a few. If you send it to just one member of the European Parliament, that's so much more than a lot of other people do. So I really hope that you will do that. They've made it so easy. And you can also write your own message if you want to. That will be a bit more personal. I think that will have a greater effect, but if you don't bother doing that, just send this pre-written message to your local MEPs, and you can review and send it. So I mean, you can type something else, so you can just go to the next, and then you can just send email. Then it will send it to, I mean, you can select country, of course. I'm from Denmark. Then you get the overview of the members of parliament in your country, and you can see who's for the legislation, who's against it, and who is undecided. And you can select if all of them or none of them, or I just selected all of them because I want everybody in the European Parliament to know about that this is something that we don't want. Then you have your message, and then you can just click send emails and it will send it. But have in mind that this only works if you have your email tied to the browser that you're using, which I don't have. So there is another easy way to do it. You can see just below, you can copy all the email addresses from the members of parliament you have selected up here. So you can just copy all of them, and then you'll have them in the clipboard, and you can go into your regular email client, what you use to send email, and paste all the email address in there. And then you can copy the message, put it into the email, and send it like a regular email to all the members of parliament in your country. That's what we really can do about it. We hope these members of parliament will read their email and take it seriously. But then at least you have shown that you're not satisfied with this bill passing. That's what we can do about it. Also, I want to guide you to find some more sources on this. A very good video that I would mention is the video that Rasmus did. He's a guy from New York who talks about right to repair and consumer rights. He made a very good video about this topic like 2 weeks ago, and I recommend watching his video. I will put the link for that in the description, as well as, of course, I'll put the link to this Fight chat control page in the description of this video you can find below. Of course, I'll also include if you want to read this very long, I think it's like 100 pages long, but if you want to read that, you can do that. But else you can see other people break down exactly what's in this bill. But the short answer is that it's about listening in on all your electronic communication to make sure that it doesn't have anything that can be child exploitative. So I'll leave the links for all of that in the description. I really hope you will find your way to this Fight Chat Control page, and then just use this pre-written message, or write your own if you want to, and then send all the emails, or do what I did and copy them into your regular email client and just send it like a regular email from that. I think that's really what we can do about it right now, and then we hope that the politicians will read this and vote no on it in 10 days. Thank you so much for paying attention to this for a few minutes. Also, as this is like the first video on my channel, I hope that you will consider like and share the video, and also perhaps subscribe so you can see I'll make more videos in the future on more exciting topics than boring EU stuff. But I just think this law is really gonna change privacy forever. So I think it's really important to put some attention on that. So thank you so much for listening to me for a couple of minutes, and I hope that you'll have a very good day out there. Catch you in the next video.